And joining me in the studio live to discuss more on this issue is a young politician and former local government chairman and now aspiring to the House of Representatives, Ayo Adewale. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you're aspiring to become a House of Rep member. Do you think you deserve this ticket, and on what platform?
Well, I'll be running on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, and whether I deserve it or not, I think we'll leave that to the electorate to determine. Judging from my background from the civil society, I actually caught my political tooth as a student union president from Lagos State University, after which I ran for the PR of Nance, and my president at that time is now the deputy governor of Edo State, Mr. Philip Shaibu. And I happen to also have served as chairman of a local government, a very big local government in Lagos State, as a ward of a local government.
That's true.
And we've left our footprint there, particularly on the infrastructural provision and renewal, education, health, and all whatnot.
So how would you describe your conduct and the tenure as chairman Amur of local government, being a youthful personality, as it were?
My conduct was very civil, and we were very respectful, and we operated within the context of the law. And of course, the administrative guideline that we had there, and we had to think out of the box. It intrigues me, and I'm so happy that the Not Too Young to Run actually achieved a great feat. In 2006, I actually started that particular agitation at the Pro-NARCO plenary that was headed by Chief Anthony Nairo of blessed memories.
All right.
I posited then that 18-year-olds should be the political benchmark into any elective office.
Okay.
A lot of the old ones, I was the youngest on the table then. I was the mobilization liaison officer of Pro-NARCO, and I worked very close with Dr. Bekra and Kuti while he was alive. And when I put it on the table, a lot of them said no. And I took them back to pre-independence, where we had younger people that were governing the state. And amongst them, particularly, was Pabram Adesoya, that was 21 years when he was in the lower house. And you also have Mr. Gani Daudu, that was about 20 years when he built the city hall. And we had a lot of them, the late Maitama Sule, and so many of them. You hardly see anybody in their 30s, 35. They were more within their 20s and, a bit off 18 and thereabout. Of course, you had the Shapara Williams then that were there, but as soon as the Awolowo and the rest came on board, they had to move her back, including this engineer then, what's his name now, this renowned engineer, I remember his name.
All right, now, it is said that your term as local government chairman didn't come without controversies. There were allegedly moves to have you impeached for misconduct by the council's assembly members at some time. Can you enlighten us on that?
You did have Balarabe Musa that was removed when he was the governor in the Second Republic, particularly because it came with a lot of revolutionary changes that the old stock never wanted. They wanted to continue in their old behavior of looting the wealth of the society. But when we came in, we actually changed the order of the day. When I came in, I met a revenue of 30,000 naira per month, and you wondered that what went wrong. By the time I left a revenue of 280 million per annum without much enforcement and all of that. I met a doctor that was overseeing the whole of the medical care in the local government. I employed more doctors. I led 28 doctors, physiotherapists and medical psychologists and nurses and what have you. It's on record that I paid the highest amount of money to non-pensionable workers. When Nigeria was finding it difficult to pay 18,000 naira, I was paying 20. And I was also paying 100,000 to the core members, particularly those at the Riverine, in Sagbo Koji, Bishop Koji, Agala 1 and 2, and the Gologu and the rest. I built a doctor's lodge to the extent we're working with the U.S. Marine to the U.S. consulate. And the consulate were visiting regularly. So these were things that they were not used to.
All right, very
good.
They
wanted us to share the money.
Very good. Now, in terms of what you've just said, let's talk about youthful zeal in governance and the likelihood of abuse. Have you ever at one point, had to go through that?
Well, I never went through it. I quickly understood. Look, we were the last bastion of hope, particularly during the Abacha era. We were the foot soldiers when some of our leaders went on exile to continue the struggle. So we fought very well in line and in tandem with civility, using the rule of law as our guiding principles. So there was no room for juvenile delinquents and all of that. I was well groomed, and I'm well groomed. And as such, when we came on board, we saw a lot of hierarchy. You will never find anywhere where they will tell you that my administration or I led thugs to hit people or disrupt any processes, particularly electoral process or what have you. But I presume things like this will happen in future.
But
that is why we put all of our activities.
All right, very good. Let me put this to you. It is said that you've had conflicts. It's ironic that you just mentioned the word thugs now. You've had conflicts with the youth in Amuwo, especially in Festac town. And at one point during your tenure, the police, the police have had to be called in. So what's the situation there?
I love that. When you say conflict, as a journalist, you also have to investigate what led to that. You had youth that were vandalizing oil pipelines, and all of that. Some of them were also into internet fraud.
All right.
Then you have a police chief that was harboring them, and he created something called the Community Policing Youth Vanguard. Okay. You understand? And I thank God that I have been proven to have done well, especially by the Lagos State Assembly.
The police was harboring them.
Yes.
Did you make an official complaint to high authorities?
Of course.
And what was their response?
Recently, the National Assembly wrote me that they'll be visiting that matter. I wrote to several IGs. I wrote to the AIG Zone 2. I also wrote to the CP, but nothing was done. And I also brought it to the forbearing. If you go to YouTube, you understand, I kept a lot of it there, even when they came to attack the local government and all of that.
Yes, that was on the high.
All of these things, I kept in the YouTube. So when you go there, you check it, and you see the narrative of what happened. And today they're in custody because the deputy killed their leader, and they're in the police net.
All right, let's talk about the law itself. It's in place now, and we're thankful for that, and there's been a lot of applause at the National Assembly towards that as well. So in that, case, how would you, there's been a lot of emergence of young people, coming out, and we've had a lot of them in the studio as well. But the concern among people right now is that they don't have the political experience. You mentioned the time you started out, at least you started from the grassroots, and you're aspiring to be the House of Reps member. But we're seeing them going straight to the presidential level. What's your take on that?
There's nothing wrong in going straight to the presidential level.
Why do you say that?
If not for the building block that I had chosen, by now I should be running as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because I believe I have more experience to even govern the state of affairs of this country. But if anybody has chosen to run at any political platform, you want to understand that he or she is not going to do it alone. They're going to do it with networking with people, particularly when you are running on the platform of a political party. So it's not your show particularly. The party is going to have a program. So you are meant to key into the program of the party. It's not your show. You understand? There is already laid down principles. There's a roadmap for you to follow. And as soon as you get in, it's better that you implement that program. And the more you have people who have drawn those programs with you, and you have synthesized on those programs, it makes it very easy. But like I keep telling people, it's not only about the age that matters. It's not about the age. It is what is inherent in that person, and if the person is ready to be a team player.
Very good, Ayo. Now, let's take a look at some of the hurdles. For example, you're aspiring to become, House of Rep member. Now, the form alone is 2.2 million naira, from what we gathered. For someone who's working and probably you don't even know the career, what it's like, and this kind of amount. So, what do you make of that?
For me, the amount is quite big. It's quite big, but that
could it be reduced? Because you're trying to encourage
as we continue,
it
can. As we continue, it can. But yet again, it's a challenge that must be walked around with. I take you back when I was aspiring to be the president of the student union in Lagos State University. I was just in 200 level, and my colleagues told me that, look, you can't make it. More so, you're a science student. No science student have ever made it. It only goes for the law faculty students and, of course, social sciences and whatnot. And I could have gone home to collect the money from my parents. Our form there was 2005. 2005 in 1998 was a lot of money. So what I did was just to get a poly bag. And I went from department to department, talking to people about my ambition and what have you. So within 2 hours, we were able to generate 9,200 naira. So if you're talking about the 2 million for the form, I'm not going to dip my hand in my pocket and get it out. Of course, I'm going to talk to friends. I'm going to have to come to you. If you believe in me, then you put whatever you have in it, and I raise the funds.
Don't you think that's an opportunity for the older politicians
it is
to
not.
come into
It
fray
is
and
not.
sponsor you?
The beauty of this is that, take for instance, you have people of your kind,
Okay.
and they've been debarred from aspiring into political office, and this is your chance. It is left for you to go convince them, for them to support you, not only with their energy and thought,
Okay.
but with their material resource that they have.
All right. Okay, let's... So, it is said that you're quite close to the APC national leader, Bola Tinubu, and pundits believe you can't actually do much or make headway without him. What's your reaction to that?
That is a lie. That is a lie.
So
The same way people believe that a lot of people are close to me in the local government. I've used my goodwill to put chairman of local government.
So are you saying
and
without Bola Shiwaju Ahmed Tinubu's help, you can go the whole hog and win this?
Of course I'm going to get his help. He's my father, he's my national leader, and he's somebody I highly respect and believe
But
in.
what does that tell you, what does that project for the electorate, that you have to lean on a national leader before you can make headway?
In any society,
Okay.
we must have mentors. There are people you look up to,
Okay.
that you want to mentor yourself around. You must have people who can gravitate goodwill and who can lead people aright. There's no society without leadership. There's no society. And we are happy to have somebody like Asiwaju, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in this contemporary time.
Right.
We did have people like Awolowo as at then, and all of that. And Nigeria is very grateful to him now, and more than ever before. So there's no society without it. If you go to, is it Indonesia? You also have people of this kind. If you go to America, you also have, such people. So we must continue to have them. And many years after he must have lived and gone, you're also going to have people like him that will live at that point, and people will believe in them, and they will gravitate around them. So there's nothing wrong in you having a mentor.
All right.
Or having a guide father. I choose to use the word guide father because godfatherism has been bastardized.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong in godfatherism.
Okay.
As long as the person is true about his conduct and can lead and demonstrate good leadership.
Very good. Ayo Adewale, House of Rep aspirant, we'd like to thank you for coming to the program, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you for having me.